Hi guys, it's Claire Matara from the middle of the Amazon area, Upper Peru. Today is the 14th of December 2020 and it's about the middle of the day. Normally I don't do it at this time of the day, but let's see how we go. A little hello from my garden. Yay! Look at that. That's the beautiful seed of the achoti. The achoti is a plant that gets used for fever, and the leaves get used for that. They can make tea out of it. They can use it for washing a person with when they have problems with fever. And the seeds itself, they open up and have really red color inside, and the natives put it on their cheeks, and especially on the cheeks of the tourists, to make them kind of feel that they're really partaking in the native rituals. But so yeah, there's always a lot of humor involved in that. Okay, saying hello to Mehababa again. This time I'm not talking about a straight Mehababa journey. I'm talking about something I wrote a while ago, and it has to do with some shamanic work I did in Australia in the beginning of 2008, after which I went back to the house that I already bought in the Amazon and where I still live. So it is about grasshoppers and dreamcatchers. I wrote it as a kind of dialogue. So here's the picture that I put with it. The picture is to do with a painting from Pablo Amaringo, and I really like the grasshopper there. It's a beautiful spirit of energy. So, grasshoppers and dreamcatchers. Dreamcatchers, what are they good for? What do they do? I myself do not know the full story about the dreamcatchers, only that I was told to make them. Told by whom? Actually, forgive me my impudence, but I was told by a grasshopper. And when she came to me, she wanted to include crickets and cicadas in her presentation. Who listens to grasshoppers and crickets must be a mad person. Well, again, apologies, but all of humans that are lucky enough to live near some natural spot listen to grasshoppers, crickets and cicadas, and don't tell me that you don't enjoy it. Don't tell me that you don't feel a peaceful dreaming sneak over you when you listen to crickets chirping in the foliage and the grasses when the night comes stealing in and the moon rises. Ah, but I did not mean that. I mean, who listens to instructions from grasshoppers must surely be hopping mad. It may be so, but at the time it made perfect sense to me. And if you enjoy my dreamcatchers and want the full answer and learn something to your advantage, hold back that judgment and listen, please. Okay, but don't be too long. I'm busy, and I believe your story has to be nonsensical. It certainly can't be science. I'm not claiming it to be scientific. I am an intuitive and an artist, and if you wish to refresh your fevered mind with something artistic, I offer another point of view for you. All right, get on with it then. This took you 10 years to write, so you sat on it long enough. Out with it then, but I can't promise that I won't laugh at you. So be it then, and let's go. Laugh if you must. It was around February 2008, and I was staying with friends in the hinterland of Byron Bay, Australia. There had been a terrific wet time not too long before that, and the roads had been cut off by flooding. So we really got into the power of nature and listened to the animals as we hunkered down in and around the country house in the forest, not far from Dunoon, while the rain roared down for days and the waters rose and flooded lands and roads alike. I had been living in South America for extended visits in 2006 and 2007, and I had bought a house close to Iquitos, Peru, and I was back in Australia to renew my passport and reorganize my life. During the 2 previous years, I had been learning about shamanism from people in Bolivia and Peru, and had been partaking in ceremonies with San Pedro, ayahuasca and Wilca, and also partook in sweat lodges and visiting ancient sacred sites, especially around Lake Titicaca. I became aware that all of nature is imbued with spirit and knowledge, that there are vibrational frequencies that create synchronicity and give us information, and that this had been going on for humans since the dawn of their existence on this planet. They had not learned from books, but from plants, which they called teacher plants, and spirit guide animals, and this world had started to open up to me with intense vibrance, insights, aha moments, and tears. So here we were, a few women, friends from years past, and they had also been taking an interest in similar things, but they had not gone to South America or taken these teacher plants, and they were interested in my information. I was having a very joyous stay with them. Since I did not have access to South American plants, I suddenly remembered my forays with gold-top mushrooms in Australia in 1974, and that these can also be used to open perceptions of nature that are normally closed to us in our linear ways of thinking in present society. So we agreed to do a ceremony with these mushrooms when we found them. Long story short, we found them and avoided the bull in the grass paddock and came through the fences and collected a few mushrooms, just enough to make things happen for several people. We had chosen the evening and the mushrooms sat quietly waiting, loosely wrapped in toilet paper, in a plastic container in the fridge, when I noticed the extra large grasshopper cicada creature sitting on the edge of the dish rack in the kitchen of my friend. At that time I had taken an interest in photographing insects, and this one had my attention. It was so large and green and shiny. So I got out the camera and it patiently sat there as I took a series of photos. It felt like a messenger to me, but I had not anticipated what it was going to do later that night. It was introducing itself. I remembered that Pablo Amaringo had also painted some conversations with the grasshopper, so I inserted a section of this painting, since I lost the photo that I took of the grasshopper, and it wants to present itself visually in this story. So you already saw the photo of that painting by Pablo. We ingested the mushrooms around late afternoon and sat on blankets out in the sloping back lawn as dusk gathered around us, and we felt the medicine take hold. We rested and laid down, like I used to do with ayahuasca, and then I felt a presence around me and I sat up. In my inner vision I saw the face of a grasshopper looking at me, but now it was the same size as my face. What we take for granted when they are regular small size suddenly became a bit daunting on equal ground. What a weird face. It looked at me steadily and indicated that it wanted to come inside me for a while, so that it could show me things from a different point of view, and so it could communicate with our small group. I took a mental step backwards and consulted with my master, Meher Baba, and Archangel Michael for protection. Neither of these had a problem with the procedure, so I said okay to the grasshopper spirit. Suddenly I looked at the world from insect point of view, and things became rather funny then. It started to tell my friend, our host, who was so proud of her nice wooden cabin, that her house was a pile of sticks, and that it was a rather useless pile of sticks, since we could or would not eat it. I don't remember all of its messages, but some of it got pretty esoteric. Here is one. The energies of the insect kingdom are related to processing refuse and waste, and to pollinating flowers, and producing essences for its babies, grubs in human terms, that humans like to harvest, like honey for instance, silk, special color essences and healing oils and resins. We don't do this for the humans, but they benefit from it and they make use of our services in so many ways, but they don't even notice. In the order of the universe, it went on, there are 7 levels, like the 7 chakras in the human body. The lower 2 chakras have to do with excretion and fertility, and that is where we are stationed in the order of things. Since humans have a great fear and disregard of insects, and spray everything with poisons, we insects suffer, and this in its own turn affects the fertility and the waste of humans. The relationship of these things is on a larger cosmic level as well as on a physical level, and see how the fertility of plants and fruits is being affected, as well as a great buildup of toxic waste. In the past, humans dropped their food leftovers and feces on or in the earth, and ants and other insects would take perfect care of this and create fertile earth. Because of large monocultures, we insects grow in proportion, and then you spray insecticides and make an inedible food just because you want to get rid of us. It is not us that hate you, it's the other way around. And why, when we do so many things that are useful to you? Why do people scream when they see a cockroach when it does not even bite them or sting them? They only come out at night to clean up our food leftovers, or any other rubbish you don't want. We wash ourselves and are not half as dirty as some people themselves. It went on, but now I get back to the other jobs we do. We keep this planet green. How do we do that? By singing to the plants. We chirp and peep and shrill through the day and into the night. This song of ours actually keeps the plants going and producing green leaves. We do it because we need to eat the leaves and plants, but we don't just sing for ourselves. No, we sing for everyone, because we care about this planet. We are the shepherds of the plants, or the plant herds, if you want to be specific. I remember a book called Silent Spring that mentioned this. Your hatred of us will result in human infertility and other ailments, and in food shortage and inedible food. Since you are so educated and clever, why do you not pay proper attention to this? Who is interested in physics, politics and sciences when there is no food and no new babies? Then she started to explain about the singing, and I could see it as well as understand and hear it. She said that when they sing to the plants, this can be seen on a subtle level as shapes and colors, and it looks like colorful mandalas streaming out from the point of the singer. These mandalas are constantly changing and very pretty to watch, and imbue everything with rainbow hues. I realized that is why so many fairies are represented in children's stories and movies with insect wings, as they are subtle guardians of the very complex web of nature, just like the insects are. I looked up into the now dark sky where stars came peeping through the foliage of the dark trees above us. The grasshopper went on, "Now here is another leap in the lecture, since I have to tell you that we are not living in linear time. We are very much in the present. We don't even know forwards and backwards, as you may construct in your thinking. We can teach you how to sing these mandalas, like we do, and then you can affect both the past and the future, and heal things both forward and backwards." I may have lost many of you now, but in sacred ceremony work, this is how it works out, and some people call it healing the DNA, and that is how broken DNA strands can be mended, with sound and vibrations. The strange teacher went on, "Your ancestors benefit from this, as well as your progeny. You can also create visual representations of these mandalas of sound, and these will be catalysts in the same way. They affect the vibrations of your life, and they call helper spirits into your life when you hang them around your house as dream catchers. They are specifically powerful when the dream catchers are made by a person who works with shamanic insights and medicine plants and song." I had by now rested back down on my blanket and allowed the stream of consciousness to weave through my mind like inner dialogue. But the conversation continued. "This is what we suggest you need to do," and I saw small photos or paintings or pictures, and they had little things attached to the lower part of the frame, like bones, beads, sticks and feathers. And then also a covering stick and something to hang it on. I initially came from a mental space of picture frames, but I needed to adjust because I was trained as a painter. But I needed to adjust that idea a lot, and this happened over the following years as my dream catchers evolved. The mantis spirit was most insistent about me making them, and afterwards I kept seeing little vortices of color and shapes on many things in nature that I looked at. But strangely enough, this did not take form in my life until several years later. Ideas came together slowly. It took a long time for me to get the actual idea clearly. My thoughts had to be deconditioned. I will show you. This is a photo of one of the dream catchers that I made for a lady that was very special to me. Anyway, she was attracted to it directly when yeah, there we are. The bone at the bottom is from an Amazonian fish. It's actually a finger bone where the fish swims. And here is another thing from the Amazon, which is called. It's another dream catcher. Yeah. It's related to the tiba. It's a little hawk-like bird that flies over and actually scoops up fish from the waters. And yes, there's the vortex of air and water. also, so all these things were actually influenced by the insects, and I also made quite a few necklaces, which is, yeah, jewelry is part of talking to the spirit world, actually. Here's one. Yeah. So these are colors that have to do with the spirit world. There's lots of them. I have many, and I've already shown quite a few of them anyway. So there we are. I think that's it for today, and I hope you have a really, really nice Christmas, and all the best. Here's hello from the plants again. God bless, and till another day. Thank you for watching. Please put a like, a subscribe, and give me a comment if you liked it. Okay, bye bye.